It was late autumn at Fort Halstead, a windswept military installation known more for its rigid hierarchy than its hospitality. Officers walked with pride, enlisted men with precision, and civilians with caution. Among the cafeteria staff worked Lena Orlov, soft-spoken, observant, moving with the disciplined grace of someone who understood how to disappear in plain sight. She served food, cleared trays, and never raised her voice. Most believed she had come from a long line of laborers. None imagined the truth. Across the base ruled Major General Harrington, a man whose authority came wrapped in medals and arrogance. He valued obedience above competence and intimidation above respect. To him, civilians were background noise, and the cafeteria was simply another stage for his pride. On that particular evening, the general entered with his entourage. Laughter echoed, boots struck the floor like hammers, and Lena continued her work with quiet steadiness. But as she placed a tray on the general's table, her sleeve slipped, just half an inch, revealing the edge of an ink-black wing. A raven. Sharp, precise, unmistakable. Harrington froze. The whole quieted as his eyes widened in disbelief. For only one unit in the world bore that raven, and no one walked away from it.
The general rose abruptly, his chair scraping back, cutting through the room's murmurs. He seized Lena's wrist, forcing her sleeve up until the full tattoo glared under the fluorescent lights. The raven, wings extended, perched upon a dagger. Soldiers stiffened. Even the air held its breath. "Where did you get this?" Harrington demanded. Lena did not flinch. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "I earned it." The general scoffed, but only for a moment. His attempt to tighten his grip failed. Her hand slipped from his with quiet precision. Before anyone understood what happened, she moved, one subtle step, a shift of weight, a controlled motion so fast it appeared effortless. The next instant, the general was on his knees, his arm locked behind him, breath knocked from his chest. A sharp crack echoed as he hit the floor. Silence fell over the hall. Forks froze mid-air. No one blinked, because the only people who moved like that were legends. For a long moment, no one dared to move. The general, red-faced and shaken, tried to rise, but Lena released him only when she was certain he would not injure himself. She took a respectful step back, posture straight, hands calm at her sides, an echo of long-forgotten discipline. Harrington staggered to his feet. Fury twisted across his features, but beneath it, something else flickered. Fear. Not of Lena, but of what her presence implied. "Who are you?" he demanded, voice trembling despite his effort to command. Before Lena could answer, Colonel Abrams, the oldest and most disciplined officer on the base, stepped forward. Unlike the others, his eyes did not show confusion. They showed recognition. "I know that mark," he said quietly. "The Shadow Ravens. Special reconnaissance. Deployed only when diplomacy failed and danger demanded perfection." Rumors rippled through the soldiers. The Shadow Ravens were whispered about, not confirmed. A unit so elite that their missions never reached official reports. Harrington's arrogance faltered. "Those operatives were disbanded." Abrams shook his head. "No, sir, they retired. Those who survived." He turned to Lena with a slow, respectful nod. "Colonel Orlov, I never imagined I would see one of you again." Lena dipped her head in acknowledgement. "I left the field, Colonel. Peace was overdue."
The general's anger ignited again, fueled by humiliation. "You assaulted a superior officer!" Abrams stepped between them. "With respect, sir, you initiated physical contact, and if she intended harm, you would not be standing." The room absorbed his words like a cold wind. Harrington's bluster deflated. Lena spoke softly, addressing the hall, not the general. "Strength is not for display. Skill is not for intimidation. Those who abuse authority forget that power lasts only as long as respect remains." The soldiers exchanged glances. They had heard many speeches in their careers, but none carried weight like hers. Not volume, not rank, but truth. In that moment, even the general understood the moral he had unintentionally brought to life. Arrogance collapses under the quiet pressure of real mastery, and respect, once lost, cannot be commanded. It must be earned. Weeks passed, and the story spread through Fort Halstead with the force of a rising tide. No official report was ever filed, yet every soldier knew what had happened. New recruits whispered about the cafeteria raven, the woman who had effortlessly humbled a general. Even officers repeated the tale, softly, respectfully, like a warning carried on the wind. Harrington changed. His temper simmered lower. His commands carried less bark and more awareness. No one dared mention the incident, but his posture shifted whenever Lena was in the room. Not out of fear of her skills, but because she had revealed the truth he never expected to confront. Authority without humility is hollow. Lena continued serving food, cleaning tables, stacking trays, yet her quiet presence now carried a different weight. Soldiers stood straighter when she passed. Some saluted without thinking. And when asked about the tattoo, she always answered the same way. "I served. Now I serve differently." Years later, after both she and Harrington had long retired, the story endured. It became one of those unofficial legends told at late-night briefings and campfires, a reminder that the greatest warriors are often the ones who never boast. And when younger soldiers asked what lesson they should take from her tale, Lena offered a single line of wisdom: simple, steady, unshakable. Power means nothing if you lose the honor to carry it. So, my friends, if you like this story, please like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel, Tales of Courage.